Alrighty, right here we have a 2022 FORD E350. Customer complaint: no air through vents. Alright, no AC blowing through the vents. AC is blowing through defrost only. So this one works off a vacuum, right? So our first vacuum coming off the engine is this one right here. So as you can see, that one all the way over there. That one, let me get up there. This one right there. Well, that vacuum right there. Alright, so that comes up to here and to that first junction point right there. So take that off, verify you have vacuum right there. So all you do is just take this off and then put your finger right there. If it's sucking, then you have vacuum. Alright, so that was good. And then this black wire goes there through the firewall, underneath the firewall, through right there. That black line coming out through right there. So it goes through a canister and it comes through there, and then there's a three-way valve behind that, and to get to that it's a pain in the ass, but okay. Alright, so to verify if we have vacuum through here, you just take this line, this black line off, and then put your finger, once you got this off like that, put your finger through it, and then if you have vacuum there, then that's good. Alright. If you have vacuum there, then that's good. Alright, I'll worry about that later. So, as you can see, I have that off. So you have your car running, you put your thumb right there, you have vacuum, then you're good. And then that black line comes up through here, comes through the dash, and then goes right here. And then from here, it connects to the AC controller, which I cannot find right now. Where is my AC controller? It's right there. So it connects to the AC controller. Connects to the AC controller, as you can see. And then that. So the black line is our incoming vacuum, right? So in order to test that, you disconnect the black line from the plug, like so, and then you put your finger on it with the vehicle running. Put your finger on it, and if it's sucking, then you have vacuum coming into the controller. So if all that is good, then you don't have a leak coming from the engine to the controller. That's good. Now, if there's no vacuum coming through that line right there, try jumping it. And if it works, then that means your canister, your vacuum canister, is cracked, which is usually what happens on the older E350s. Alright, we got that. Alright. So now, what the fuck is our problem? Okay. So, when I turn on the AC, that flap right there opens on. It goes up, which that actuator right there runs off a vacuum as well. Okay, I take that off, take that white line off from here. I take it off, put my finger on it, and if there's vacuum here, then I know this line is good. All right, so all we're doing here is testing the lines one by one. All right, now the tricky part is we know we have vacuum on the black line, we know we have vacuum on the white line. Now we need to check the blue, yellow, and red line. Problem is that they go all the way underneath right here. And in order to get to that, you need to take out the dash. So you do not want to do hours and hours of work without knowing that what the fuck is the problem, right? So easiest way to do this is you have this end hooked up to the controller, right? You come here, you just disconnect it one by one. So like how I did the black wire, a second. You just disconnect it. This one was right there. Disconnect it. Put your finger on it. Connect it to the controller. Let me show you. So connect it to the controller like so. You have the car running. You have the the controller. Your fan blowing, your motor blowing. So you check if they have vacuum right here. All right, that's good. But that, if you're not getting vacuum, you switch the lines to vent, and you're not getting vacuum off this red, blue, and yellow one, then the controller is probably fucked up. It's not, making the changes it needs to. Now, if you have vacuum in the red, yellow, and blue one off this plug, then your problem is from the plug right here to the two actuators. There's two actuators up here, right? All right, so one looks like this. I just had one right here. All right, one of the actuators looks like this, and then there's another one that looks like this, right? This is the one I took off of there. This was bad, but right there, those two actuators. So the one that controls the vents is this one, small one, which the blue line goes into here, right? So I don't know if you can see it. You can see them running. You can see that I have that taken off, and then the other two run to that one, which is it's kind of hard to see, but it's that one. So easiest way to do this, right? Let's put this back on. Easiest way to do this: disconnect it, suck on the line, put your mouth right here, and start sucking on it, and see if it's holding a vacuum. If it's holding a vacuum, then that means your solenoid is good and your line is good, right? And if it's not holding a vacuum, then that means it's either your line is broken somewhere or the actuator is not holding vacuum. These are supposed to hold vacuum. Like in this case, this one was not holding vacuum. It had an internal leak inside the actuator, which was causing, no vacuum in the cylinder, in the actuator, which was causing the fans not to kick on. Flap to not move, and then the vents don't open. So if you did all that and one of your lines is leaking, then you got to trace the line all the way to the actuator, so you know your problem. So in order to do that, you need to take off the dash first. Don't waste your time trying to take off this plastic piece. It will not come off. Ford decided it was a genius idea to put 4 screws on the back of the dash, which you cannot get to. It's those little retaining clips. Those little retaining clips have a screw on the back of them, and you cannot get to them. There's one right in the middle, like right in the middle, somewhere around here. You cannot get to that. All right. So let's recap. Engine. Let's recap. Engine vacuum. Good. Engine vacuum is good. Goes under the firewall. goes under the firewall, goes right there. We have vacuum right there. We connect this back, come over here, we look if this black wire has vacuum. You know, you disconnect it. You can disconnect it from the plug, or you can disconnect it from here, you know, and then plug that and see if it sucks. Then we have vacuum coming into the controller. Then you verify vacuum going out of the controller. So in this case, you can just take this off, plug it right there. We have vacuum here, that's good. And then the red, yellow, and blue case, you just disconnect it from the connector. Vacuum here, vacuum here, vacuum here. We know controller's good. All right, now in order to know if your lines are good, take them off, start sucking on them, and if they hold vacuum, then the line is good and your actuator is good. Do one for each, the red, blue, and yellow. The red and yellow connect to this actuator, which is like, it controls the mixed one. So like when you want like vents and defrost at the same time. And then the blue one just controls your vents. So usually if vents aren't blowing, it's usually going to be your blue one. Take that off, start sucking on it, and see if it's holding vacuum. No vacuum, then that means either your line is messed up or your actuator is messed up. That's the recap. All right, so if we're on the same page here now, you got to take off your dash. So in order to do that, you take off all the electronics right here, radio, plugs, all that. Do not bother taking out the screws on this. Do not, I repeat, do not. This will not come off. This top piece will not come off. So what you do is you come down here, you see, you take off your railing bolts. So there's one, there's two right here, there's one right there. You can take off this whole bracket if you want to. And then that's this side. Then you go to the other side. Same thing on this side. There's one, two right there, and then there's like this little guide on the side right there, and then there's one right there. I took off the bracket on this side. Same thing on the other side. Now don't forget, there's also a bolt that goes up here. There's a little cover right there. You take the cover off, take that bolt off, and there's 4 screws. Well, that's for the back, so you don't really have to take that off, but I don't know if you can see it, but there's a pinhole right there. Now you come down here, you see that bolt right there, one for the steering shaft. You take that bolt off, make sure you mark it, and make sure you lock your steering wheel, because you're gonna have to take that linkage off. Lock your steering wheel so it won't move, sway left or right. Take that linkage off. You gotta take off your dash monitor, your gauges and stuff. Take off your radio, take off the airbag over there. Make sure to disconnect the battery before you do that. Take off your airbag, take out the airbag, take off the railing bolts, and then all you do, it's gonna be a little hard, but all you do is sit on the driver's seat. You come here, and all you do is lift up, because the railing gets stuck on that bolt all the way over there. It sits all the pressure, and so when you try to pull it, it gets stuck on it. Also, another thing is this guide might be stuck on there, so all you got to really do, you don't got to cut it. I tried to, because I thought it would just come out too, but don't do that. All you do is grab a pry bar and just pry it. It doesn't matter. You can just always bend it back in shape, but that didn't help me at first, so all I did, I got pissed off, obviously, and all I did was grab it here, lifted it up, pull the dash, and that should give you enough room to get to the actuators all the way over there. You will not be having this whole dash out. No, all you do is just move it enough so you can get to those lines back there. Well, I'll show you in a minute.